Hello, my name is Emily White, and I'm doing the SWOT analysis for SeaWorld. So the definition of a SWOT is the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. The strengths and weaknesses represent the internal effects on a company, and the opportunities and threats focus on the external effects on the company. It also helps them evaluate how the company is positioned um, in comparison to their competitors. To start off, we're going to go through our SWOT analysis. So our strengths are skilled workforce, recognizable name, unique exhibits, focus on education, multiple entertainment aspects, wildlife preservation, creation of recyclable and reusable bottles with Coke, lack of direct competitor, pricing, and barriers to entry. Now these are all of the strengths that we gathered together as a group. And for weaknesses, threats, and opportunities, that is the same case. So I'm going to go through and just tell you a little bit about why we chose these. So skilled workforce. This is a strength they have and a strength they need to continue to have. They need to be trained well to work with the animals, and they need to be very customer service oriented. Recognizable name. Everybody knows SeaWorld name, brand, who they are, what they do, and what they have done in the past. In the past, they've had a great recognition with their name. Currently, they don't, unfortunately. However, they could change that if they wanted to. Unique exhibits. They have exotic animals, which no other attraction has. While they have that, they are focusing on the education of these animals. Multiple entertainment aspects. Like I said, you can go to the orca shamu show. You can go to a dolphin show. You can pet stingrays. There's many. You can see seals. You can see penguins. There are many different aspects at SeaWorld and entertainment that you can choose from. They definitely take a huge part in wildlife preservation. So much so that they decided to show the community and the public that they are eco-friendly by developing a partnership with Coca-Cola to make recyclable, reusable water bottles. They are lacking of a direct competitor, which for them is a strength. They do have Disney, which is a much larger attraction. However, they don't share the same market. Pricing, and then barriers to entry. Barriers to entry is more along the lines of how much it costs to actually enter this market. And it is a huge cost. I mean, animals in themselves are a huge cost, not to mention the places where they're living, not their habitat, but the enclosures that they're living in, the training, the breeding, the technology, the medical bills for all of them. Along with all the rest of the things that you want at a water park, at a attraction park, like food and bathrooms and skilled workforce and parking and all that good stuff. It's all a large cost to enter this market. Now, to go over our weaknesses, we've chosen as a team that the next 6 are our main ones. So loss of orcas, political and legal issues, small compared to large competitors, bad public image, no new attractions to entice new visitors, lacking in technology use. So the loss of orcas is the hugest one we all agreed on. That was the driving force. The Shamu show was the driving force. Political and legal issues. That's with governmental agencies and PETA. They're always looking for loopholes to catch them on. They want to make sure the animals are safe. They want to make sure all the health inspections and codes are up to par. Small compared to larger competitors. This is a weakness because Disney may be getting more of a share of their visitors than SeaWorld would, especially with the combination of their bad public image. That doesn't help at all. It definitely it makes the attraction and attendance numbers go down, which in return makes our revenue go down. So they really need to find a new attraction to take the place of the loss of orcas, the Shamu show, to bring the revenue up entice people to come back, spend their money, and boost their market share. And then finally, lagging in technology when it comes to the medical for these animals and where they're staying and the breeding technology. It's not the best, and they don't really have a lot of technology implemented in any of the educational aspects of SeaWorld either when it comes to learning. So that's something that they're lacking on, but they have the opportunity to change that. So for our opportunities, we have smart device apps, 3D technologies, maybe even 4D. It depends on the cost because it will be a larger image than normal. And then wristband with tracker logging technology, release the animals, add more rides and make it more of an experience, and then cruise and animal watching. I personally think this is the best part of a SWOT analysis because whether your company is in a good position or not, it still evaluates the options and opportunities that they have to make the company better. So to go over our smart device apps, they currently don't have one. We would like to have this implemented in a way such that people don't have to carry around a park map. They can pull up their app on their phone and they can look up the map and it will direct them wherever they want to go. It also helps with parking and the wristband with tracker logging technology that we mentioned 3 bullets down. That can also be synced to the app and they can pay all their food and pay their parking with it, and it will track where they did park so they remember where they parked, and it'll track all the rides they went on and how long they stand in lines, how long they walked for, what bathrooms they used, and I mean all this data that would be very helpful to SeaWorld to really understand their market, which would help them reposition themselves in a good way so they would know what other kind of attraction they could add to re-entice their visitors. Release the animals as an opportunity. However, because most of the animals that they currently have aren't from the natural habitat that they would come from. They're bred in a certain way. They were born in an enclosure. They don't know the breeding patterns. They don't know the migration patterns or how to stay with their pod. So that would raise an issue as far as how long would they last in the life out in the ocean. But it is a possibility. Add more rides and make it more of an experience. They could add more rides. This would put them more in the Disney market. However, if they wanted to, they could definitely go for that, although the SeaWorld name wouldn't really represent them as well. And then cruise and animal watching channel. This would be like a cruise ship for Disney, so they would still be a Disney competitor. However, they would also be competing with like the mom and pop whale watching tours that you find all along the east and west coast. I think this would be great because you get the best of both worlds. The visitors get to see the animals in their natural habitat and interact with them. They could have a low platform where they could view these animals, while at the same time the animals aren't in danger. You can actually have educational interactive technology on the cruise ship, which shows the GPS sonar tracking of each animal, where they are, and the information about the animals they could learn. They could still have water rides, food, shopping on this ship, but it would be more of a vacation. And the reason why this is a good opportunity is because before, all SeaWorld attractions, they don't offer housing like Disney does, or lodging, I should say. On a cruise ship, you would have that, and also on a cruise ship, you wouldn't have to worry about the parking issue. So many people have said like how SeaWorld, it's surprising because SeaWorld has more land used for parking than they do for the actual attractions. That would be taken care of. You wouldn't have to worry about parking. It's all on the ship, and you can actually immerse yourself and watch these animals in their actual wildlife and habitat, which would be very, very interesting. And if it ends up working out successfully, they could end up expanding to other types of regions that have different types of wildlife to observe. The opportunity here is very risky. However, the position they're in right now, I think they do have to take a risky opportunity in order to get themselves out of the little divot in the road that they're in right now. To go over our threats: public opinion, government regulations of animals and park standards, inflation, unemployment rates, 3D, 4D entertainment, low attendance, no main attraction, and unpredictable weather. Unpredictable weather is easy. Nobody wants to be at a water park or an attraction or amusement park when it's raining. It's not fun. No main attraction, that is the loss of orca whales. They need to find something to re-entice these visitors to come back, which might be the 3D, 4D technology. However, that could be a threat because it's so expensive and they wouldn't, it's going to cost a lot, okay? So once they put these costs in, 3 or 4 or 5 years down the road, they start getting visitors, the word gets out, more people come, and they're like, it's not as good as the actual real life whale show, the Shamu show. So that's how the 3D, 4D entertainment could be a threat, because they might invest all this money in it and not get a good return on it. Inflation, unemployment rates, and government regulations of animals and park standards. That is simply the health and code laws for bathrooms, food, parking, all the standard things you would find at an attraction, along with PETA, making sure all the animals aren't in harm's way or being mistreated, along with other smaller activist organizations. And then the public image, or the public opinion. Right now, that is a threat because they haven't been associated with the best public image because of all of the injuries and deaths from the animals at SeaWorld. However, hopefully they could change that in the future. Now, to wrap it up, I'm going to go over our main strength and opportunity strategy, which is our eco-friendly water bottle. They would create a partnership, SeaWorld would create a partnership with Coca-Cola to support and promote their eco-friendly name and position in the community. This would be good because it does support the environment in which these animals actually come from. And then the main strength threat strategy that we have is the brand and name recognition. Yes, it is a strength because people know the name whenever you hear it. However, it is a threat because of the bad public image they've received as of late. And then the main weakness opportunity strategy is the loss of orcas. That is the hugest loss they have right now because it was their main attraction and driving force. However, they need to find a new main attraction to substitute that and to increase what they did have before as far as market share. And then finally, the main weakness and threats. The main weakness, once again, is the loss of orcas. The main threat is the effect on the orcas if they were left out in the wild. Will they survive? You know, they haven't been out in their natural habitat for the longest time, if at all. And they aren't going to know what pod to swim with, where to get the food, where to swim when they need to swim as far as migration goes. So there could be a large effect on the orcas, and it could affect the broader population of orcas throughout the whole West Coast. So there's always that to think about. Thank you. Do you have any questions?